Today's video is about a colt named Jax. We've talked about him in a previous video that we made. Super excited about him. He comes out of a mare that we picked up in Utah. She's out of Frenchman's Fabulous, and she was AI'd to a stud named Hey Hotshot, who's the son of Dinero, PC Frenchman's heyday. And Jax gave us a little surprise.
Yeah, he sure did. He started out pretty good. I was just this is just another day in his process. So far I haven't been having him do anything at a distance from me. I've been just kind of handling him and pushing him with my hands like I'm starting out here. And then a little later in this video, he started kind of getting a little upset about things, got a little confused and so on. But we'll go into the details about that later. But he kind of surprised us a little. I didn't expect how it all kind of came out, but
from the time we started working with him when he was even a month and a half, 2 months old, we noticed that he was really light on his front. And
yeah, he's pretty energetic. With the breeding and stuff, he's bred to be a performance rodeo horse, and I'm really looking forward to that. And we've been just handling him real quiet and everything. And today, though, it's been long enough, and these horses have got a really good foundation on them in terms of just having them gentle to me. But it's time to start stepping it up and getting them to where they can move around and be comfortable moving, away from me at a distance. And so I need to start kind of circle driving them like I am here. And so right about here, here's where the process of going downhill starts. You can see where he's kind of starting to rebel just a little bit there. And, up until this point, there's a couple things going on. First of all, it's a little bit windy today. You can't see by the video, but, there's a little bit of a breeze going on. But the second thing is, I've never had a chance to work him more than like 5 minutes at a time. It's just kind of put them away, do something simple, put them away. And then the third thing is this sending him away from me like this in this circle driving fashion is new to him. And so he's got a few strikes against him here. But like I said, I did not expect what's going on here. But you see where he's just kind of rejecting me a little bit, and he's kind of was rearing up. So I tried that, and now I'm kind of doing like, I'm going to get right to your hindquarters here now. You move them things around, and if you're going to be energetic, do it in a way that I'm going to ask you to do, and we'll see how that goes. And so that's kind of what I'm doing here. I'm just getting right after them hindquarters. Get them hindquarters away from me, and if you want to be energetic, that's fine, but we'll do it in my terms, and then we'll see if when I back off here, you'll make your way around and start kind of listening, and instead of being quite so reactive.
I noticed when you first started doing it, you actually had a little bit of a grin on your face.
Yeah,
Can you talk about how you were feeling at that point?
Yeah, it's just I was kind of laughing at the challenge that's coming up here. But okay, now I'm see where I've kind of lifted my arm up and given him a direction. I've kind of moved his hips around, and now I'm going to try going back to just ask him nice there. I'm using my elbow there to kind of direct him and try to get him to point away, and you just lead off with your front end and then go on around, and that kind of worked a little bit. Now I made some progress, and I'll lead him off and give him a little break and let him settle, and we'll start again here. And when I pick that stick up and go up to his face, I kind of want him to just kind of think about it and yield to me, and which he kind of is, but he's a little bit reactive, and I'd have to call him a little bit high tensile right now at this point. So with all this, I'm trying to just get his feet moving and having him moving laterally, and he keeps popping wheelies when I bring that rope up there like that. So we decided to change strategies. I asked Annette to bring me the scoop shovel, and it sounds real rough, but it's really not. I'm just using it as a physical barrier and a visual barrier, so that instead of him raising up with his front end, he's going to understand how to yield, go out, around, and forward instead of getting upset and raising up his front end and rearing. And so I can just easily keep that in front of him, and then, and it's physically there to kind of basically tell him, you should be going forward about now. And then if I do touch him, it's not a big surprise. Just, the answer is pretty obvious. And like I can physically put it up alongside of him and just hold it there and let him just kind of study it and realize that it's not a big deal. It's just something to yield from.
And when it is a big deal, it's between the two of you also.
Exactly, yeah. There's the time coming up here in a little bit that he actually jumps up and strikes even at the scoop shovel a little bit, but it's no big deal because it's in between me and him, and no danger for me. So there again, he can just really have time to study that. I don't have to do anything. I don't have to, and he's not gonna come over the top or come back. He's not gonna make the wrong choice because it is so big. It's such a barricade. The answer is pretty obvious, and so he can just settle down and find the right decisions.
Have you ever had a horse strike you in the face before?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I got a pretty bad bloody nose one time. I had to even go to the hospital from it, and it was a horse similar to this, and I just thought I could just stay in front of him and swing the rope, and he'll eventually move and go to the side, and I did that for a while. Next thing you know, he just reared up and jumped on my nose and almost broke it, but I did get a pretty bad bloody nose.
I see a lot of videos out.
There he jumped up again, he kind of doing that popping wheelies again, but like I said, no big deal. He made it through.
So is what I was gonna say is I see a lot of reels and stuff out of colts that are doing this, and it's a lot of cute comments and things like that. How easy is it to start a bad habit with this?
Yeah, no, I don't want. That's why I switched tools, is because I don't want that to happen. If I was going to teach one to rear up, I'd want to do it on my terms and not like this. There was a pretty good example where you could see it up close how he can just study that thing and just no big deal move away from it when it was up real close to him. It's just there. It can be there as long as it needs to be for him to just cognitively make sense of it and move away from it. Here again, it can just hold and wait, and there he moves away from it. There again, he's moving into it. If I had that lead rope or the stick right now at this point, he'd probably be having some trouble. But I can just hold that thing and hold it, and there he makes it out and around. And basically what I'm trying to do is direct him to a release. And he wasn't getting that interpretation of what I was doing. He wasn't finding that, and I wasn't giving him that message. So I switched my strategy, and now he's found what I'm all about, which is I'm trying to get along as best I can and show him things that are going to be helpful and fun for him when he understands how to do them.
All right, so I have 2 questions for you. My first question is, it seems to me like he was actually going for the lead rope and the white stick more so than he is going for the shovel.
Like rearing up.
Yeah.
Rearing up more from the scoop, the stick and less from the shovel.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, exactly. And so you're asking why?
No. Was that true? Was he going for those 2 items more?
Yeah, he was the stick and the string or the lead rope. If I was to try to swing that around, it just kept causing him to rear up, and where the scoop shovel just gives me a lot. It gives the horse a better description of what I'm asking him to do, and it makes more sense to him. So the right answer is obvious. And so that's why it worked better.
Okay. I'll ask you my next question later. So we're finishing up this first day with him here.
Okay.
And where are you trying to find a good spot to stop?
So I've been I started out in this process just kind of reviewing, and then I started doing some new stuff, and then the last part I just reviewed what we'd been doing for days at a time, and then I turned him loose when he was kind of settled.
So we got up the next morning and we talked about how we were going to start, and we decided to start with Jax and see how he did today.
Yeah. So I purposely started him first so there wouldn't be any other horses in the pen. So if we did need more room, I'd have plenty of that. And I purposely put him away just the way I left him in the video. I didn't do anything more. I had to lead him out the gate, but I didn't do anything with him. So what you're seeing is from where I left off yesterday. And I'm just using this little tube. It's actually a shop vac. It's an old shop vac tube that I use. It's a great little tool.
Real light and hollow.
It's light, hollow, and it's a little bit bigger around, and it's about the right length, and it makes a little pop sound if I touch him with it. So that works out really well. But yeah, you can see he's moving around pretty good. He's still a little touchy there, and there he's kind of almost and I had to kind of get up after him to show him the right answer. It's not over the top of me. It's out and around here, and we got that going, and now I've got a little length of that lead rope so he's got some room to roam, and he understands today, because yesterday was his first time at this circle driving and having to move a lot away from me. He understands it quite a bit from yesterday, and you'll see how I kind of go up to him and I'm using my elbow like I did the scoop shovel the day before. I'm using my elbow to kind of give him that pre-cue to a description to yield away from me. And then now here I'm gonna give him a little lead with the lead rope, and I'm gonna bring that vacuum cleaner tube up to send him forward. And so far it's all going pretty good.
There was one point there where he still looks a little light on his front end. Can you feel that with him?
Yeah, and even sometimes I kind of I start to bring it up, and he's like, he's just about ready to bob, and I take it away and wait for him to get a little bit more ready, because I know he wants to be a good boy. He's not spoiled or anything like that. He's just like I said, he's a little confused and pretty high energy, and so I'm handling him in this way, and I know he wants to find the answer if I give him enough time, and so that's what I'm doing. In here, once in a while, if I can just let him settle a little bit and let him relax, like I said, he is high tensile, so them little moments where a guy can let him relax and mentally slow down, like the RPMs go down a little bit, and he'll find the answer. There I started to bring it up, and I felt like he was going to get light on his feet, and I'm just using my hand here, and there he made it through. And I also was supporting him with that lead rope, giving him just a little direction, and I had a little contact on it before I brought my hand up.
You said he made it through. Can you explain what you mean by made it through right there?
Yeah, he crossed over. He yielded away from my hand, crossed over in front of me, and made it circle driving in that direction.
Okay. When you're talking about high tensile, can you?
Yeah, that's kind of my own term, I suppose. But it's just high energy, and their muscles and they're ticklish and they're high energy. I think it kind of makes sense to most people.
They're a little more sensitive than...
Very sensitive, and their muscles fire faster than their brain thinks, almost, so that's kind of what happens, especially with like this. Like I said, this horse has got that rodeo horse energy, and they're nice and light and sensitive, but it can work against you if you don't handle them correctly.
Yeah.
Now you can see how, at this point, I got plenty of slack in that lead rope, so he's got plenty of room. But how responsive he is just to that, I can just bring that little tube up, and he responds to it. Here I'm just giving him a little direction, and he's very, very responsive.
So he was doing really well there.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you not choose that as a good spot to stop?
Well, I haven't worked him very long yet. In terms of every day I've been working with him just for a few minutes, and this is another. I don't want him to think that a day is 2 minutes long. It's real work is a lot longer than that, and then also sometimes it takes a longer session to get to where he's really comfortable with things. And he might cycle, he'll start getting pretty good at it, and then he'll think, yeah, I'm kind of done now, and we're not done. We'll keep on going until this feels good again. And so it's a way to kind of build tolerances, I guess you might say.
Yep, that's good.
This session is quite long. We're going to have to talk about a lot of things here, but it's that's all right. I mean, it's just I enjoy doing this process with him, and we'll just see how things go. But you can just see little things that I'm doing, and you can learn from it. And just go up and pet him a little bit, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do next here. But
do you ever find that when you work them a little bit longer that you can bring out some underlying issues that if you had a shorter session you just never find?
Yeah, exactly. That's absolutely. And then it's a chance for them to get to know me and me to get to know them. Like what happened yesterday with this horse. If I would have quit earlier on him, he wouldn't have found out the character that I have and the kind of person that I am. He wouldn't understand that I was really just trying to have him find this, and by the time we got done, he felt like he understood it, and it's showing today. He's just really kind of understanding this, and it takes him it's kind of like learning how to dance or something. If you don't practice it, you don't get good at it, and you don't get comfortable enough for it to be fun. And so that's part of this too, is we need to spend enough time together to where this becomes fun for us. If we just did it a little bit, it would just be just a little bit too fresh and new. And so here I'm gonna put that vacuum cleaner hose up basically kind of eye level and crossways with him, and then so it's gonna do a little bit, and then I shake the lead rope a little, and he learns to back up from it. And now I'll direct him out and around. There he's just kind of sitting on. This is a real important moment. He's just not quite finding his way off of that. But I can, just like the scoop shovel yesterday, I'm just going to wait and hold it and wait until he cognitively relaxes and just yields away from it. And so he really understood the whole process. And the other thing about that, I feel like I set up a little puzzle for him, and he had a chance to solve that puzzle on his own. And when you think about, there's a couple things in life that we do, a bunch of things, but one of them that people will pay and they spend a lot of time doing is dancing. That's fun. And it's fun for horses, and it's fun for people. And the other thing is puzzles. You think about a lot of things in life, and sometimes it's not even about puzzles. It's you go searching for berries, or mushroom picking is another one of those things. You set up a search, and when you find it, you get this little aha moment. And so when I'm working with these horses, I think about presenting them with little puzzles. Here I'm presenting a little challenge. He solves the puzzle, and he gets this little aha moment. And that's what I'm giving him. It's like it's a little prize when he solves the puzzle. And here I'm going to bring up a little challenge, and he finds that little puzzle. And so, like in the beginning when I started working with these horses, about the only thing I got to give them is lots of petting and scratching, and I don't give them treats, but I have grain in the feeders for them when they get done, so they look forward to that. But as time goes on here, I'm offering them these other things. I'm showing them how much fun it is to dance and ride with me like that, and I'm showing him puzzles, and we're doing things like that. That is what I am replacing the petting and praising and so on with, is just simply that.
Changing the subject here, sorry. It seems like he's a lot more free on his right side than his left when he's going around.
Yeah, this horse has been this way from the beginning. His left side is where he's the stickiest. Okay. Moving from left to right here, this is the side. And there again, I bring that thing up, and just lots of opportunities. I recognize that, and I'm spending quite a bit of time just waiting him to find that and solve that little puzzle. When I bring that up, find your way out and around there, and when he gets it, just let him have his moment of victory. And yeah, he has his victory moment and makes his victory lap, and then we'll set it up here on the other side, push him from the right side. That side's real simple. The other side, and the left side is where he was rearing up the most yesterday.
Yes. So that leads me to my second question that I had for you. What makes a horse rear up? What makes, in his situation, can you explain why you think he chose to do that?
That maybe is a little, I don't know. Let's see. I'll try to do the best I can to come up with that. But basically, it's just instincts. The stimulation of the rope in front of him. Like yesterday, there was a little bit of wind going on. The motion of the rope or the things in front of them, they're eye sensitive, I call them, where if they're seeing motion in front of them, they're a little reactive to it. And so they kind of get on guard and on point, and they do what their instincts tell them to do. And there again, he kind of lifted that foot again, and I had to kind of take my time there. I took a wrap around my hand there just a little bit. See how I'm using my a little tension on that lead rope to lead him. So I give him a partial cue with the lead rope, and then so he made it around again. But see, here's an example where he was doing pretty good, and then he kind of started to regress just a little bit. I'm offering him more support than I had to before. So mentally, he's kind of changed, and he's kind of thinking about it. The day is more than 15 minutes here. This is way over time, and mentally he's kind of wanting to
check
probably made a decision to kind of quit me a little bit. Yeah. And I'm saying, no, that's all right. We'll just keep going here. You can find out that it'll turn out good again here in a little while. You just keep your mind on your work, and things will be all right. And the better you get at this, the easier this will become.
So we had a gal write to us on YouTube and ask a question about a colt that she's got that is really kicking, and we wanted to try and address that in this video also.
Yeah, so the way this horse was rearing up and striking out a little bit is basically he's kind of reacting, and he's doing that. It's the same as kicking, like a horse that's sensitive, or it could be, they can also be kicking because of an aggression. But the way she described it, her horse was sensitive, and it's really in the green stages and stuff. So it was probably similar to this, where it was just kind of striking out when you touched them. And a couple of these colts were a little bit like that too. And I guess to address it is you kind of got to do about the same thing, like with the you got to get those hips moving over, and maybe using ropes or something like that. Like I was using the scoop shovel, you'd be using a rope or something to get those hips to move over and be less sensitive, and getting them doing things that you want to do instead of kicking out. Here I'm in the process of just kind of winding this horse down and kind of reviewing some things and so on. And I went to kind of put my hand up on top of his head here, and he's rejecting me, and he's kind of lashing out a little bit, and so I kind of had to do a little bit of follow through with that. There he's doing that again, and that's similar to maybe the same thing as that horse that's kicking out. And it's just a matter of kind of hanging in there and setting it up to where you're not going to get hurt, and you can and kind of wait until he changes and makes a better decision here, or a decision that we're looking for. Harry's still kind of, I mean, he's trying to want to take over here again, and so I just kind of push back on him, and there I'm pushing back, got a little firm with his head, and say, here, if anybody's going to take over, it's going to be me, and not your little rebellion self there. So there I can hold his head. Now he's changed his mind. He's saying, okay, I'm okay. We're not going to be rejecting anymore. That's good. For your reward, I'm going to turn you loose.
So this is our third session with Jax after his little rearing incident on the first day. So we're going to just finish things up here. I'll let Tim tell you about that.
Yeah, so I just wanted to this is in the afternoon, the same day, and I just wanted to check him out, make sure everything was good and he was comfortable with it for the day. So I'm going to grab, it's a tool that I use sometimes. This is a 1-inch PCV pipe, about 5 feet long, and I'll use that for my tool now. And
PVC.
PVC. I start to struggle with that word, but anyway, you can see how it's going. He's real comfortable now, and he knows the process, and it's starting to become fun for him. So I'm really happy with how his expression and his movements and how he feels about it, and that's what I wanted to accomplish. So
one thing that Tim and I have talked about a lot is how really transparent we want to be. If we've got something that isn't great going on with the Colt, we want to make sure that we're sharing those things with you also, because that's just real life. Well, looks like Jax is going to be all right.
I think he's going to be just fine.
Thanks for being with us today.
So long for now.